to say as well, Liverpool did play tonight as well. And Tom, that's 5 wins on the bounce. You confident of closing in on Man United still? You must be.
Look, we're doing all I asked us to do. We're winning every game. I just need Brighton. I need Roberto. I need future Liverpool midfielder Alexis. Moises, all these lot. Come on, do me a job tomorrow. Give me something to cling on to. But I saw a mad start just then. We've picked, since the turn of the year, we've picked up more league points than Arsenal.
Really?
That's what yeah, they've picked up 32. We've got 32.
Yeah, it's not a lie, it's true.
So that's what's sitting there. When I look at this system, you can tell we need transfers. Oh my God, Jordan Henderson. I apologise for whatever crimes I committed in a previous life to be subject through what Jordan Henderson right wing centre mid thing, because it doesn't work. The man got injured playing a back heel today. His body was that allergic to a back heel, it got injured doing it. So you can tell that we need some signings. We could definitely do with the left centre back, a DM to go alongside Trents, a right centre mid, a left centre mid. But get those in, and you've got the makings of a title challenging team again. You have, but I need to give all the credit to Trents. He has been an absolute revelation in this role, an absolute revelation for us. In a team that has lacked any semblance of midfield control, he's come in and already looked like one of the best midfielders in the top 6 when he's in that position. His range of passing, the way he's able to just switch it, his tempo control, it's so good. And it makes me sit there and wonder why we didn't just do this earlier.
So Tom, you guys stole our scouting reports a couple of years back, and is it now you kind of stolen our inverted fullbacks, and now you're having success?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to admit it.
Hey,
most teams steal it.
That's shameless.
There's no innovation in football anymore. It's just what ideas work and go nick it. I mean, I could say the same thing about you taking our false 9 when Aguero left.
Touche.
So, like, it swings and roundabouts. So, I just like this new system.
Alex Ferguson was doing false 9s in the early 90s with Ryan Giggs. What were we talking about?
All right.
I'm only joking.
No, I know.
No, but look, it's 5 out of 5. It wasn't a good performance. I don't think we've had a great performance. We've had good spells in games. I thought the first half was all right. I thought we had a lot of good performances. And then once again, this thing that we do where we get to the second half and decide I can't be bothered playing anymore. Need to sort of nip that in the bud, because we can't keep grinding out these wins because we're not as good defensively as we used to be. But for now, it's working. We just got to keep winning these games. We've got Brentford next Saturday, another iffy one. Just get the job done again. And the only other thing I'd say is today, I know Nunes played, and if I wanted to be shameless, I'd say we're a better defensive team with him because our last 2 clean sheets were in his last 2 starts. But you can tell how badly we miss Cody Gakpo. When Cody Gakpo plays, we are so much better. So much better.
I get that. I think the Trent thing, I'd love to get G's take on this as well, because I feel like with Trent, I'm glad it's the second time in Klopp's career he must have watched the football Terrace and listened to me. I said to him, you'll never win anything unless you get a world-class goalie and sort out your back line. He went and signed Alisson and Van Dijk. And I've been saying all season, Trent's got amazing attributes, but he's not a right back. Defensively, he's not a right back. He is a midfielder. He's a creator. He's a playmaker. He's now been moved into, I know it's an invert. I mean, I've seen loads of different names recently, inverted fullbacks. There was another name I saw recently, a creative defender. I saw someone write, whatever it is, the centre mid hybrid role. I don't care what you call it, but he's been moved into that position, and his weaknesses are now being covered, and his brilliance is now being elevated again. Is it a bit frustrating that it's taken until April and May to start doing it?
Yeah, 100%, man. Because at the end of the day, Klopp was the one telling everybody that he doesn't want to put Trent in midfield. He was the one telling Gareth Southgate that Trent isn't a midfielder; he's a right back. So to now put him into that midfield position, I think what he's done with Trent more so is he just got Trent on the ball more. And I think when you've got your most creative player on the ball a lot more, you're seeing what's happening now. He's getting the ball, he's picking it up. We know about his passing. At the end of the day, his passing, when I'm watching him now, it's not amazing me in terms of, oh my goodness, he's doing amazing things, because Trent was doing that at right back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we saw that at right back. But at right back, you're not getting the ball as much as he's getting the ball now. Now he's always on the ball. He's picking up from the centre back. He's the one that the centre backs are giving the ball to. He's the one that when he's in, would we say the final third, he's the one that the team are looking for to start creating things from those kind of central areas. And he's able to pick out a pass from probably a wider range. Whereas before, from the right-hand side, you've only got one real area to put the ball in, which is just try and whip it in. Do whatever you can, just whip it in. He's got the technique to do so. Now, this guy can, spray it out left. He can spray it out right. He's got a left foot as well, which can, ping the ball to the other side. And I think the fact that Klopp's finally just said, you know what, let's get our actual most creative player who's shit defensively. Let's actually get him out of defense and put him in a position where he can actually affect games a lot better. We're not playing that much better. I don't want to get too overly excited. I don't think Liverpool are playing that amazing. But as Tom said, 5 wins out of 5. Do you know what I mean? So we're just still kind of like chugging along, just hoping that Man United slip up or somebody slips up so we can kind of, just keep pace. But with Trent, it's one of them things, man. Like, I just don't understand why now was the time for you to decide after watching him for the last 5 years. Did you genuinely think that he was that good at defending, or was it other components of our team that made him look good in the defensive positions and stuff like that? But we're here now.
Exactly. And I always felt with Trent, when you guys were at your best, you had the workhorses in midfield that would cover his defensive positions, and it supported him. And it was never really a dig at Trent. I mean, I'll call out his mistakes, but after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times of seeing him exposed, you have to look at the manager and say, well, why are you using him in a system and in a role where his weaknesses are being exposed massively? And I always remember this story that I heard Tiger Woods tell. That he said when he was younger, he was very bad at getting out of bunkers, and his dad, for weeks, all we're doing is bunker shots. And he said he wasn't getting any better. But he said, Dad, I drive the ball straighter and further down the course than any other young golfer in history. Let me just work on making sure I don't land in bunkers, and then we don't have a problem. And essentially, that's what he did. Of course, he got better at getting out of bunkers as he got older. But sometimes it's a case of develop his brilliance and use your. And this is a team sport, right? So he's not a boxer with like an Amir Khan's jaw that you can't build muscle on. It's a team. So build a system that covers his weaknesses. Because someone put a comment in here saying he's the only player ever to get 5 assists in 5 consecutive games, twice in the history of the Premier League. That's because his passing range, his creativity, and his vision to see opportunities he's one of the best the Premier League's had. KDB, David Beckham, Gerrard himself, Ryan Giggs was a great crosser and passer of the ball. He's up there with those guys in terms of his ability. So put him in a role that sees the best of him come out. For me, it was always an obvious thing. And I always felt, to your point there about Southgate, one of the reasons why I always felt one of the things I always felt about Klopp, I felt he was angry that Southgate did it because Klopp always wanted to be the person to do it first.
Yeah,
and it was always and I get why, because that's managers. I think if you are a manager of the level of Klopp, you have to have an element of arrogance about you to even make it that far in any kind of walk of life. This comment here says, okay, none of these are about what we're talking about now, so we'll come back to them in a moment. In terms of Liverpool, Don, I wanted to ask you: do you see them maybe catching Man United, or do you think Man United are just going to have a little bit too much?
Who have you guys got left? You got Brighton. You got Brighton tomorrow. I know that.
We've got
What's
Brighton.
your remaining fixtures?
So let me just get them now. We've got Brighton away, and then West Ham away, back-to-back games.
Yep.
Which are tough. And then we are at home to Wolves, away to Bournemouth, and then we're at home to Chelsea, at home to Fulham, and that's it.
Oof.
You'll pick up enough points. Yeah. I think
you'll pick up enough points. I think Liverpool pretty much can't drop any more points now for you to not
they have to win every single game. Every single game.
Yeah, they have to win every single game. I just don't see Liverpool doing that, because even today I had both games on, and Fulham, if they were more clinical, they could have done something. And Alisson again saved them. There was a chance when Vinicius Junior? He had an opportunity there as well, like to score, and Alisson saved them. So for me, I just don't see Liverpool winning every single game now. I think United, you've got it wrapped up. You're going to beat us away when we've got your Old Trafford, Terry. Definitely, that's 3 points there already. And yeah, I think you've got enough games at home now to get that wrapped up. I just don't see
No,
Liverpool.
Frank Lampard's due a win. And he
Nah,
loves
nah.
Liverpool. He loves Liverpool. Do you not remember when he told us to go do one
Tom,
because you won one league
Tom,
title? He's got to pay us back for that.
Put it this way: Haaland is going to get 40 goals in the league before we get to 40 points. We're not winning another game this season. That's it. We're done.
I swear you're on 39. Okay,
We're on 39 points. We're not getting another point this season. It's done.
It's an interesting one because Liverpool are 5 wins on the bounce, but Man United are 4 wins and 1 draw, like in a row as well. So our results have been good. Both teams have had sketchy performances. I think the next 2 games are important. If we beat Brighton tomorrow, I will say it's done because that's our hardest game remaining away to them. Because of our 3 home games and our home form has been so good this year, or since the opening game of the season, I'll be confident. If we lose to Brighton and don't beat West Ham, then I think, and as long as Liverpool win their game this weekend, then it becomes a fucking really tight race where nobody can make a mistake. But if we get 4 points in our next 2 games, I'd say it's over. Do you know what I mean? The next 2 games for Man United are massive. So yeah, but at least it's making it a bit exciting because there's nothing much else going on in the league right now. These super chats here. This says, my question is, will Mbappe go to the Premier League? Who will sign him? I say Newcastle.
I think you'll take about Manchester United
to go to Newcastle.
Yeah, that would be crazy, I think. But I think you'll take about what you said about Man United. I feel like that would be the only club that I would see him go to, because if you do get this whole Qatari thing, if you guys get that money, I feel like Manchester United is kind of the club for him. You know what I mean? It's one of, if not the biggest club in England, like the history, the economics, everything behind Manchester United just suits a player like Mbappe. I can't see him going there's no other club that I can really think of. Man City have already got Haaland, so he wouldn't obviously go there. Chelsea, not big enough. Like Liverpool, economically not big enough. Arsenal, not big enough. Chelsea, these teams are just not big enough for him to kind of go there and continue the brand.
What do you mean Chelsea not big enough? What do you mean by that?
In terms of just everything that's associated with football. When we think about the Premier League, the first, would we say, 2 clubs you would think of isn't Chelsea, isn't Arsenal, isn't anybody else apart from Manchester United and Liverpool. So straight away,
I would disagree with that, man. You can't.
I'm not even trying to discredit Chelsea in any way, shape, or form. In the last 20 years, you guys are probably, I think you've been the most successful team, I think, in the Premier League. In the Premier League, 100%. But when we're thinking of the actual Premier League in itself, again, I think to the wider audience, they're not thinking Chelsea. Forget this season. Erase this season from your memory. You're still not thinking Chelsea in the back of your head. You're always going to think, obviously Manchester City, but in terms of just the Premier League and in terms of heritage, you're always going to think Manchester United. You're always going to think of a team like that. They're the biggest club. Like, they are way bigger than a Chelsea football club. That's just out there for people to see themselves in terms of the revenue, in terms of everything to do with Manchester United. I don't look at Chelsea and think, yeah, Mbappe is the kind of club that he would go to continue the brand that he's been obviously trying to work upon. If Manchester United have the money, I feel like that's a dunker right there. I feel like, why wouldn't you go to Manchester United? Like I said, the biggest club, if not one of the biggest clubs in England.
Personally, if we get the Qataris, I think it's plausible that Man United get him. I don't think we will, but I think it's plausible we get him because they will. I think they will. I think they would do almost. I think they would want to make a signing like that. And equally, you've got to do this response thing to Haaland, but we will see what would happen with that. This is an interesting comment. Terry is so biased. Trent is incredible. One of the sauciest Englishmen in history. Terry, please confront your biases. Just to the Liverpool fans, have I been nasty about Trent tonight? I just want to check my Trent privilege. No. I didn't think I was being biased praising him.